We've made it to the very honest Week 14 Power Rankings. I'm Brandon Perna, and last week the Jaguars got double cursed. Previously on Power Rankings. Oh, I spun it the wrong way. Oh no, oh no, oh no! 7 again? Who is at 7? All right, let's just be sure. Let's just be safe. I'm gonna do something I've never done before because I spun it the wrong way. Let's try to spin it again and see what happens. Be more curse-like this week. More curse-like. I'm losing faith in you. You crazy little devil. I'm losing faith in you. Ooh! I know, some of you thought maybe the double curse reversed the curse, but no. Jacksonville got double screwed. Trevor Lawrence gets a high ankle sprain, and you suffer an OT loss to Jake Browntown, and you lose Christian Kirk. Your biggest loss of a Christian since Tim Tebow was cut from Jacksonville's roster.
I think there's two things. There's a lot.
As always, after I rank the top teams, I will spin this plastic devil to see who it curses. And no, I'm not gonna destroy this. You think I'm gonna mess with this black magic in my own home? Sometimes I'll be in the bathroom and I'll hear a little knock on the door. And I think it's my 3-year-old daughter. But when I open the door, there's no one there. It's just this sound. That's all I hear. It's creepy as fuck. But hey, you know what? I'll make you a deal. If this video gets 1 million views, or I get 1 million subscribers before Sunday's games, I will burn this wheel live. I'll burn it live, but only for 1 million. All right, in heaven, yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars. No team deserves true healing like you. And send Trey Hendrickson a gift basket, as he proved prayer does work. He was praying alongside Trevor Lawrence as soon as the injury happened. Now we now know Trevor Lawrence has a high ankle sprain, which is a tricky injury, yes, one that can linger, but before Trey Hendrickson prayed, that was a torn ACL.
They forgot what God had done.
So I'm sorry, Nietzsche, but God is not dead, and he's clearly a Bengals fan. In purgatory, Sean Payton and my Broncos, 6-6, and being just a game or two outside the postseason is the definition of purgatory. It's like if you lived your life as a good man and just before you died and went to heaven, you accidentally ran over an old lady crossing the street. In hell, starting NFL quarterbacks, 4 of the 7 AFC playoff teams will be starting a backup QB on Sunday if Trevor Lawrence is unable to go. That's incredible and terrifying for fans of good playoff football. Number 12, the Bengals. Jake Browning did something Joe Burrow's never done before, and that's putting up 34 points on the road against a winning playoff team. And he did that all in his first start away from Cincinnati. If he just completes 86% of his passes and never turns the ball over for the rest of the regular season, I think the Bengals can win the Super Bowl. 11, I've got the Rams. Puka Nacua has been awesome, and he just needs 444 yards in his last 5 games to break the rookie receiving record currently held by Bill Groman at 1,473 yards, who did it back in 1960 for the Oilers. You know you're in good company when you're threatening Kennedy-era records. Aaron Donald continues to quietly wreck games, and the Rams feel like a playoff dark horse right now. Number 10, the Green Bay Packers. Yes, Jordan Love has been near perfect in the last 3 Packers wins. 74 for 108, 857 passing yards, 8 TDs, 0 picks, and 116.9 passer rating, which is what Brock Purdy is rocking on the season. And a big reason for that is he and his young, hung ball catchers are really gelling. Right now, the Packers' young guns lead the NFL in receiving yards for first and second year players, to which I say, fuck all of you third-year nobodies. Ain't nobody tracking your stats, you third-year idiots. Another reason the Packers are winning is because they've been +5 in turnovers over their last 3 weeks after being -4 prior to their streak. Turns out not turning the ball over is a good thing for your winning chances, which I've learned in several ways watching the Broncos this season. Today's episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Check it out. Underdog has added scorchers to their pick'em contests. What's a scorcher? Well, if you see this little tiny pepper next to a player's stat, that's a scorcher pick. Add those to your normal pick'em entries to boost your payouts. Your normal max is 20xing what you wager. Depending on how many scorchers you add, you can up to 100x your money. They've also added Pick'em Champions, which is live in Alabama, Tennessee, Wyoming, and Mississippi. Pick'em Champions, what's that? Players create a pick'em entry, like usual, so you pick 2 to 5 players from at least 2 different teams, select your entry amount, and submit. It's simple. If you get the most correct picks in your contest, you win your share of the champion's prize. So sign up at Underdog with my link below and code THAT'SGOOD. Make your first deposit and they will match you up to $100. Number 9, Indianapolis. The Colts special teams units were so good they got the Titans special teams coach Craig Aukerman fired. Always a tough week when you go from anonymous coach to losing the game and your job in the span of 24 hours. That's not even a picture of Aukerman. I don't know who the fuck that is, but I don't know who Aukerman is either. Only that chain gang guy from the Saints game had a worse Sunday than Craig. Conversely, the Colts got their 2 key punt blocks because of their coaching and preparation. Like a real football nerd, I read an entire article about the Colts special teams performance. They noticed a tendency on film by the Titans, and if they got a certain look, they knew they had a chance to get the block, and they did it 2 times. With the Jags losing their starting QB for any stretch, Indy has the chance to play their way into the top spot in the AFC South. That would be some sweet irony if Gardner Minshew could unseat his former team at the top of the division. Number 8.5 needs titties. Steelers fans, show up shirtless, and kissing titties Trubisky can get you to the dance. Number 8, I've got the Chiefs. We're looking at unprecedented territory now for the Chiefs, as they may have to play their first road playoff game in the Patrick Mahomes era. Unless, of course, another horrible tragedy occurs and there's another insane tiebreaker. But what are the odds of that? Oh crap, 90%. KC drops down to the 3 slot after losing to the Pack in the AFC. Kind of an interesting note, since week 2, Patty Mahomes, his passer rating is alternated between under and over 100 every single game, meaning he should be excellent against the Buffalo Bills and then will lose horribly in 2 weeks to the Patriots. That's called data and analytics, and I understand what those 2 words mean. Number 7, Texans. You do not want to be number 1, Houston, trust me. Sure, you unseated the number 1 Broncos, and by my own logic, that's where you should be, but you don't want to be anywhere near my own logic. Now, I already discussed Will Anderson in the recap. I mentioned Derek Stingley briefly, but he's straight up balling right now from the corner spot. Like Anderson, Houston selected Stingley 3rd overall in the 2022 NFL Draft. Despite some injury concerns, a hamstring injury landed him on IR in 2022, but now that he's healthy, he's playing like a top corner in the league. He allowed 0 receptions against the Broncos, ripped 2 picks, one of which was set up by a Will Anderson tipped ball. You couldn't script a better 1-2 punch from your top 2 draft picks on that play. Rookie quarterback CJ Stroud leads the league in passing yards. How rare is that? Well, that shit hasn't happened this late in the season since 1950, which means the year Cam Newton passed for 4,000 yards, he had 9 vet QBs finish ahead of him. A year later, when Andrew Luck as a rookie threw for 4,374 yards, he had 6 QBs ahead of him. My prediction right now is we see Nico Collins become one of the most talked about receivers in the league in December, because if we don't, it means my Broncos really do suck. Number 6, the Cowboys. Yay! We finally are here, Dallas, the real part of your schedule. You got the Eagles, the Bills, the Fins, and the Lions.
It's gonna get hard.
Dallas is about to either convert a lot of people into believers or get swept up in a tsunami of I told you so's. Dak's 26 TD passes lead the league, and he has just 6 picks on the season, half of which all came in the 49ers game, by the way. He also hasn't lost a fumble this year. If the NFL must give a quarterback the MVP award, I think Dak deserves it more than even Brock Purdy right now. Purdy has Kyle Shanahan. Dak has the most disrespected winning coach of the last decade. in Mike McCarthy. And since it's not the 1950s, I feel safe saying I support McCarthyism. The Cowboys have won 3 of their last 4 games by an average of 30 points before beating the Seahawks in a shootout, which showed that they can both dominate and weasel their way into the win column. That might sound like a diss, but it's not. It's what great teams do. Number 5, Philadelphia. I almost put Dallas ahead of you, Philly, but Eagles fans scare me way more than Cowboys fans, so here you are appropriately sitting at 5. Sometimes, though, a bad loss is exactly what a good team needs to recenter its chakras, open its third eye. Oh, sorry. I thought I was talking about Aaron Rodgers for some reason. Wrong color of green, I guess. Linebacker Shaq Darius Leonard decided to sign with the Birds. Maurice Jones-Drew said Philly needs an off-ball linebacker about 1,000 times after that Philly loss. Maybe the Eagles agree, and Zach Ertz and his reunion with Philadelphia looks inevitable. Number 4, Detroit. Congrats to Frank Ragnow, one of the most underrated centers in the league, for also being nominated as the Walter Payton Man of the Year for the Lions. Most importantly, congrats on rediscovering ball security. Detroit had 0 picks and 0 fumbles in their win over New Orleans. Considering your defense is a full-on liability right now, that's how you must play to keep winning. After Green Bay stuck it to Kansas City, that loss to the Packers doesn't look as bad. But in your last 2 wins, the Bears scored 26, the Chargers put up 41, and that terrifies me. If C.J. Gardner-Johnson can return for the postseason, and I know there's a December 20th return being teased, I think that will be one of the biggest boosts any playoff team can receive with the player return. Number 3, the Dolphins. The 9-3 Miami Dolphins are in first place in the AFC. The last time Miami had the 1 seed in the AFC was December of 1990. They are ahead of the Ravens in the standings, but I'm not yet convinced they are better than the Ravens. Something interesting is happening with the Dolphins, though. Over the last month, Miami has deployed one of the stingiest defenses in the league. 3rd fewest points allowed, just edging out Baltimore, which is good. I think their defense is legitimately getting better. I believe that. Jalen Ramsey's a big reason why. Rip Van Ginkel made a huge play in the last game, but having one of the best defensive stretches in the league against the Commies, the Jets, and the Raiders doesn't give me a ton of confidence. And I want confidence, Miami. Considering how bad the Patriots offense is, my red flag is letting the Patriots score 17 on you. That Patriots offense getting 17 points in a game, that's the equivalent of the 70 you put up on the Broncos, okay? So I have questions, but shut down Will Levis and Derrick Henry on Monday night, and then the Cowboys on Christmas Eve, and I'll be all in, Miami. Number 2, Ravens. After the Browns and Steelers lost, the Ravens are in the driver's seat for the AFC North. And with the Chiefs and Jaguars losing, they also have a pretty good shot at that coveted first-round bye in the AFC. That top spot might come down to a New Year's Eve battle between the Dolphins and the Ravens. The Ravens are definitely catching a break next week, however, facing the Jaguars, who will likely be without Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk. For some reason, to me, it feels like CJ Beat Hard is going to have 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. I can't explain why. This might be the year of the backup, though. Number 1, 0.5, Tommy DeVito getting the start of Monday night against the Green Bay Packers. Even though Tyrod Taylor's a brecha. Easy choice for Brian Dable to make, considering Tommy DeVito is clearly better than Patrick Mahomes. And number 1, the Niners. The Niners are 16-0 when Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, and Deebo Samuel finished the game and have outscored their opponents 529 to 239. That tells you a little bit about how important those 3 guys are to the offense. Yes, breaking news, having your best players healthy is good for winning games, especially when your best players are better than everyone else's best players. It's not just the offense right now, though, right? Their defense is giving up the 2nd fewest points per game at 15.8, while their offense is scoring the 3rd most points per game. Look, the Ravens are close, and the Dolphins are catching up, but no team simply has a better offense and defensive combo than the 49ers. All right, moment of truth. Who is the curse wheel going to curse this week? And if you do not believe in the curse wheel by now, I can't convince you of anything. Oh, curse wheel, we bow down to your great power. Show us the way. Uh-oh. I was gonna put the Cowboys ahead of you, Philly, but I kept you at 5. Also, you could be cursed by the curse wheel. Oh no, Philly. Oh no.
Will we remember? Will we remember?
Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here. This is so stupid. The curse wheel's the dumbest thing on earth. And yet it keeps getting it right. It may have to buy a witchcraft book and learn some spells. Klaatu, Barakta, Necktie, Necronomicon.